Hello, everyone. I am back, just filming a short little video on kestrels and redtails. For any people studying or wanting to be an apprentice, these are your two options that your sponsor will likely give you for a first bird. So generally, a sponsor will have you get a wild-caught bird. And your two options in most states. This does not include some of the southern states, and I think maybe Florida. I'm just going over the general two birds that most states will include that you can trap and train. So there's the American Kestrel, and then there's the red-tailed hawk. And both of these would be passage birds, which are birds that are younger than a year old, or they all have their own characteristics that you can tell the age on. So whatever bird you get, you got to do your research on that. I might go into that in another video if I can figure out how to do pictures and things on here. But I'm kind of not very tech savvy. So we will touch on the kestrel first. So we're going to go over some pros and cons of each. Kestrels, the pros for those is they're a smaller bird, so they're about, probably about that big, like 100 grams. Pretty little. You can keep them indoors, in your house, in an indoor mew, or you can do outdoor. Usually I do indoor because of weight control. They're very easy to house. Generally decent birds to work with. They can be high-strung, which is a downside. They go for smaller games, so if you don't have any big fields, you're in a more, let's say, suburban area. This will be the bird for you because it's small, you can fit it in your car, you can hunt small birds like sparrows, which are readily available in like suburban areas or like more human populated spaces. Starlings too. It's basically small critters, mice, things like that. Downside to them is they have a really tough weight control, so you're weighing them several times a day. You have to be super exact with the food, otherwise they can like die. So often sponsors won't suggest a kestrel unless they have experience with those, or they won't let you fly one unless they have experience with really, really small micros. Micros are just birds that are like 300 grams and smaller or whatever. I don't know. Small birds, tiny little guys. So most sponsors won't suggest kestrels because they don't want you to end up killing it or like forgetting to do something right because they're very delicate. It's not like a redtail. So now we'll go into the red-tailed hawk. It would be a passage redtail. These birds are very large. They're like 1,000 grams and up to like 1,300, 1,400 grams, depending on your area. East Coast, they're going to be smaller. West Coast, they're going to be bigger. You'll get different size ranges all the time. You can hunt larger game, so if you have more access to large fields, big areas with like rabbits, squirrels, things like that, this will be the bird for you. They are bigger. They are a little slower. No, they're not a little slower. They are slower. You can have better weight control. You can drop their weight, I guess, relatively quicker and with ease. So if it's your first time doing like any kind of bird, this is what you want to go with because you're probably not going to kill it by underfeeding it. It's rare that somebody will have an accident with a red-tailed hawk. They have no real natural predators other than, I guess, like eagles or something, or other red-tailed hawks. Your risk of losing this bird is very low, unlike the kestrel where it has many, many, many food chain birds above it. So it's very common to have kestrels killed by Cooper's hawks or whatever other kind of predatory bird is in your area that attacks and decides to eat it because it is on the low end of the food chain. And that's not uncommon at all in kestrels. If you have more than one kestrel over your time being a falconer, you've probably lost one to a Cooper's hawk or other bird that is predatory. So red-tailed hawks usually don't have that problem. Typically, this bird, you're not going to lose it. They stay close. They're really easy to train. Generally, they're generally very laid back. All the birds I've had, I got footed and grabbed and stabbed more by my kestrel that I had than I ever did any of the 2 red-tailed hawks I've had. They're just a lot more chill. They're not high-strung. They're very first-timer friendly, but again, you still have to be careful because they are wild animals. They will grab you if you have food in your hand, or if they perceive you as a threat, they will sink their talons into your hand. So that's up to you. If you're getting grabbed by your bird, it's probably not out of aggression. It's probably because you did something wrong in your handling, or it thought you had food, or it perceived you as a threat. So typically they don't grab you unless you're being an idiot. Straight up. So I've only been grabbed a couple times, and mostly that's like in the first few weeks right off the trap. So the bird's like freaked out. It doesn't know what you're doing. It thinks you're going to eat it. Same with kestrels, except my kestrel grabbed me anyways after. She was just mean. She was not a nice, friendly little bird. She looked adorable, but she wanted to kill me. She had the heart of a lion and wanted to kill everything around her, including me. But she hunted well. She got lots of little mice. So yeah, red-tailed hawks generally is what you're probably going to end up going with. Or if you're in like Texas or surrounding states, I think they allow Harris hawks. I know in Texas they do. Harris hawks are very social birds. It's similar to a red-tail, but smaller and quicker. I don't know a whole lot about them other than the imprint ones tend to show a lot of human aggression or have aggression issues sometimes if they're raised wrong. So they can be difficult, but passage ones, I think they're generally all right. They're not generally mean or anything. They're pretty similar to a red-tail as far as I know, but I haven't had a passage wild caught Harris hawk since I live way up north where we don't get those. We only get captive bred ones, so it's always up to your sponsor what they want you to have and what they're going to allow you to fly under them. Generally, first bird, they're going to tell you what to fly. But if you want something after that, sometimes they'll be more allowing in what you have. But yeah, that's the short little blip on kestrels and red-tailed hawks. Hopefully that helps you decide and kind of get more of an idea of like what they're about. If you have any questions, please leave them below. Or if I need to clarify things, again, please leave it below. I also have an email it's under my profile. It's there. Don't worry. Or I can link it in the comments if you want me to. But yeah, just comment if you want it and I'll send it. It's there. Alright, I'll be around. I will talk to you all another day.